More like it. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but haven't subscribed yet, please do so. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers. We're at 9,400. And thank you to everybody else who has subscribed already. I really, truly appreciate the support. And let's see if we can get to 10,000 before the trade deadline. That would be awesome. We'll see about that. Tonight, the New York Knicks hosted the Toronto Raptors at MSG, and they finally snapped that losing streak, the first three-game losing streak of the New York Knicks season. And they did it in a convincing fashion, especially in that second half. They pulled away. It was lovely. There were definitely still some head-scratching moments, but man, this couldn't have happened without the return of Karl Anthony Towns. He was outstanding tonight once again. As it was mentioned in the post-game interview, he does make scoring look really easy. He just has such an amazing touch for a big man. There was a drive at one point. It was with his left hand. He just drove. Two bodies came at him, and he was able to get the ball up on the back part, the flat part of the rim itself, just gently bounced up and down and off the backboard and down into the hoop. That kind of touch, when you're moving forward, a big 7-foot body like that, that is not easy to do. We are blessed to have him holding down the 5 position right now until Mitch Robinson comes back. I have some things to... further things to say about my thoughts about Knicks and the strategy with Mitch Robinson. And I don't have highlights tonight. For some reason, I wasn't able to get them. My usual sources just didn't come through tonight with them. So you're stuck with me tonight. All right, let's get going here. New York Knicks won 112-98, but the actual game was a lot further out of reach than that. Thibs finally emptied the bench, and then, of course, the bench coughed up 12 points immediately. So only probably justifying Thibs' fear. But it's a double-edged situation there because, you know, you can't expect your bench guys to be proficient, you know, to be smooth when they never play. Like, literally never play. So you've got to put them out there to get something back in return. But in this case, it was this story right here, Ian Begley. I love the way he captured this. This is from Thibs' post-game interview. I thought we came out with a real spirit of togetherness. Interesting word, togetherness. Good things come from that. Tom Thibodeau said after New York Knicks snapped 3-game losing streak with win versus Toronto. Thibodeau said games like Monday's low-energy loss versus Orlando happen at times in a season, but he liked how the group responded. I agree. Though we know why the low energy happens. And if you had watched my previous video that I dropped last night discussing the correlation between minutes and the production efficiency, it's right there. It's outlined perfectly. You guys should definitely check out that video. It couldn't be more clearly demonstrated than in how the Knicks' three-point shooting efficiency has totally dipped. It's just cratered, just fallen off the table. And inversely, how the opponent's three-point shooting percentage has started to rise because of dead legs not being able to get out and close out hard on three-point shooters. And not switching in time. The whole defensive scheme is compromised when guys are tired and they have low energy. They're fatigued. That's just the reality of it. But tonight, they got someone back, Karl Anthony Towns, and he delivered a double-double, 27 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 steals for the big cat. He was outstanding. Once again, he hit all 3 of his three-pointers that he attempted, which was a relief. This guy should take more shots. And I'm going to shout out my friend Steve, who basically, his whole take on this whole situation with Cat, his whole take is he doesn't think we get Cat enough shots. Because for one thing, he's amazingly efficient. He's a mismatch nightmare. And we should basically have gone down to him in the stretch versus OKC. I agree with him. We don't give him enough shots. He needs more shots. He is virtually unstoppable, especially when he's on a groove. All right, let's keep going here. OG Anunoby facing his former team. 1 year and 1 year and 9 days, pretty much to the date. He delivers a tremendous game high, ties Cat with a game high of 27 points, only 2 rebounds, but 8 of 13. The efficiency sweet. 4 of 6 from the three-point line. And man, was his defense on RJ in that second half something beautiful to watch. He picked up a couple of steals. He got a block. And he was a plus 24 in the plus minus. All 5 Knicks starters were double digits in the plus minus. Let's keep going here. I tweeted this out. Now, this is the one thing that's kind of a head scratcher. Why have the Raptors emptied their bench, but the Knicks still have 4 starters on the court while up 24 with 3 minutes left in the game? Why, Thibs? Why, Leah? Why? Well, the minute, and then like about 30 seconds into the game after this, about the 2.5-minute mark, Thibs brought in the bench, and immediately the bench surrendered 12 points in just a matter of 2 minutes. So I'm sure that Thibs is going to wake up sweating in the middle of the night, in a nightmare of that. But look, man, you've got to trust your bench more. Landry Shamet proved it tonight that he can definitely be a contributor to a contending team, which is what I still consider the Knicks, even though we did have this 3-game losing streak and we lost to OKC, and OKC lost to Cleveland tonight. The next great matchup is going to be these New York Knicks, our New York Knicks, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I cannot wait for February for that to happen. I'm just like chomping at the bit. One thing that I'm really like annoyed about is the lack of incorporating Tyler Kolek. I don't understand why this guy, who has obviously shown that he can definitely contribute positively to the team, why he's not getting any floor time, especially when you consider what Campaign has been doing as of late. Tonight, Campaign played 11.5 minutes, only took 1 shot, missed it. He did have 2 assists and 1 steal, but he turned the ball over. He didn't really do much. He wasn't much of a factor. Landry Shamet, on the other hand, was 4 of 8 from the field. Did miss all 3 of his 3-point attempts, though. Now, they were kind of like desperado shots. I think someone was just like trying to beat the buzzer and stuff. They should just gather him. He should gather himself a little more. The Knicks should actually look for him a little more. He is a very good 3-point shooter. We need to start cultivating that out of him. And then there's this. Jalen Brunson is 6 of 43, shout out to Knicks Muse, 14% from the 3-point line in his last 9 games. It's been a tough stretch. My feeling about this is I believe that Jalen is playing through some kind of nagging pain, something with his legs, I have a feeling, and that's what's affecting his long-range shooting. One of the amazing things about Dante DiVincenzo last season was his ability to take 3-point shots 3 or 4 feet from beyond the 3-point line, about 3 feet from beyond the 3-point line. That extends the defense so much. Cat can do it. Brunson at times can do it, but OG, Mikal, all the other Knicks 3-point shooters, they basically get their tippy toes right up to the line and shoot it from there. They don't stretch that defense even further the way we had Dante do it last year. So the problem that is, it's basically congesting the arc itself right now. We need Brunson to get back to be his former self. Now, without Deuce, who did not play again tonight, he sat out. I think he's getting closer. He definitely is getting closer. It seemed like it was a game time decision for him today. So hopefully he will be ready for that OKC game on Friday. Big game on Friday. OKC, that is revenge at the Garden. I can't wait for that. Cannot wait for that game. I want to see this team respond. So I'll tell you, Brunson, but there is no time for him to rest, and he's not going to rest. He actually wanted to play even further. Tonight he played 35 minutes, which is a lot of minutes. It's a lot of minutes for a guy like him. Let's get to this here. So here's the box score. You can see OG almost 38 minutes right here. Josh Hart 38 minutes plus 34 minutes for Cat, almost 36 minutes for Mikal, and almost 35 minutes for Jalen Brunson. Brunson today 5 of 13, 38.5% 13 points. He was a plus 20 and gave us 7 assists and 6 rebounds, but only 1 of 4 from the three-point line, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Lately, he's been missing a lot of free throws. Yeah, something's up with him. He's just going to have to work through it. There is no gap in the schedule where he can find some rest. Tonight might have been the game. Tonight might have been that game, but unfortunately, tonight's game came after a 3-game losing streak. I think if the Knicks had somehow been able to hold on to that lead on Friday against OKC and pulled that game out and won one of the next 2 games, maybe the Orlando game or the Bulls game, either one, I think it's possible that maybe they could have found an ability to rest Brunson tonight against the Raptors. The Raptors just don't play any defense. So they're just a terrible defensive team at the moment. They have a lot of things to work through. They're finally healthy, so I'm expecting them to begin to figure things out. Though I am surprised by their lack of defense at all. So we'll see. They are right now, I think they're the second worst team in the East, I believe, in terms of wins. But RJ Barrett and Quickly came to the Garden tonight. RJ delivered 16 points, though he was a minus 18 right here. And Emmanuel Quickly was a plus 7. Just like old times, as everyone's tweeting about right now. Quickly played 31 minutes, 7 of 12 for him, 58.3% shooting, 50% from the three-point line, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. And you can see his defense out there. He and Ochai Agbaji at first, though Agbaji did get hurt, were part of this tandem, basically harassing Brunson, taking away his airspace. They did a nice job to make Brunson inefficient tonight. And as you can see, look at the bench here. Look, Boucher, 10 points. That was all in garbage time, these last 4 minutes there when he was brought in. RJ Barrett, 7 of 15, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. Again, the Toronto Raptors have to figure out some things. Grady Dick has regressed of late. I don't know if maybe, I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm expecting big things from him in the future. Bruce Brown is back. 4 points for him, but a minus 16. So they have interesting players. Look, Davion Mitchell, he only played 26 minutes. I don't know, was he hurt? I don't know. I missed that part of it, so we'll have to check back on that. But let's check out this. Here is the lead tracker. You can see the Knicks just kept building a lead, and then they kind of let it dwindle down to 1 point, but never surrendered the lead. There was only one lead change this whole game, and there was only one tie right there, right before the lead change. But around the halftime, it was pretty close. And then the Knicks started putting it together and pulled away in that fourth quarter, that is what we'd like to see. I want to keep seeing more of that, but right about here, when we're in that fourth quarter, when we've built up a 20-something lead, we have to start sitting our all-stars. Start sitting Brunson, sit Cat, go with the bench. Where's Hawk Porty? What happened to Pacome Dadier? He's like the new where's Waldo? Where's Dadier? Where's Pacome? Was he even on the bench? I didn't even see him there. But this guy, let's give him a shot. Let's give him some minutes. There's no reason, no rationale whatsoever to not do it, except for this. I have a feeling that despite what people have been writing, shout out to who's a writer from the New York Times and The Athletic. He predicted the Knicks will not make a trade by the trade deadline. I think the Knicks are going to try to do everything they can to make a trade. And I think that is one of the reasons why we're not seeing much of Kolek, Hawk Porty, and Dadier. They're trying to, quote, feature or showcase Payne, Precious, and Sims. Because outside of Mitch, we don't have many trade assets except those guys. So maybe they can do a little package of those 3 guys plus a pick swap. And maybe we can bring back somebody like an Isaiah Stewart to help this team from Detroit. The more I think about it, Isaiah Stewart seems like the right kind of guy for this team. I have been crying out for someone who is an enforcer, who will basically have his players back. And Isaiah Stewart does that. He has great size. He can hit a 3 occasionally. He's a fierce rebounder. He's a fierce competitor. That's the type of mentality that we need added to this team. I could see him coming off the bench, giving us 12, 15 minutes, 18 minutes. I think he could be a better contributor to this team than Precious Achiuwa has been in the past. And definitely tonight, Precious had a decent game. Tonight he had a decent game. But in general, Precious has been, and I called him out already, a disappointment so far. I thought, oh, you know what? He's got a lot of rust to shake off. But in reality, he should have shook it off by now. In his 15 minutes tonight, he did shoot 3 of 5. Missed his 1 3-pointer, but he did this one nice drive. He took it off the dribble, went to the hoop, delivered on that one. But only 4 rebounds. All right, 15 minutes, 4 rebounds. I don't know. That's to me. Okay, all right. 6 points, but he was a -2. We need more from Precious Achiuwa, and the more we get from Precious Achiuwa, it'll help convince Thibs to play these guys less. Right here. These guys less, especially Josh Hart. But if he's just giving you just survivor minutes, where he's basically he was a -2 in the plus-minus, you know, he just kind of keeps your head barely above water while he's out there. No, we want a guy who comes out and can even play with the starters, could even play alongside Cat and be an impactful player. Isaiah Stewart appears to be that kind of player, and he's not even a guy that I was ever really that excited about, but especially a lot of fans and out on social media that have been tweeting about this and talking about this. I think he might be the right guy. The Knicks in the past have been able to work out many deals with Detroit. I think he might be the guy to keep an eye on to come to the Knicks. In the interim, we're going to have to suffer through some more campaign time and Precious Achiuwa time until that happens. Hey, unless from here, you know, Precious has at least 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks to convince the team and us otherwise. I know there were definitely been stretches where he's been impactful for the Knicks. He's been a winning contributor to the Knicks. So let's see if he can return to being that kind of a player right now, because the minute situation is just out of control. It's out of control right now. And there's no reason, once again, like I said, for a team that's up 24 points to have all their starters in, 4 of their starters in against the other team's bench, who they're getting their butts whipped. That just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Let's get back to here the game charts, team comparison right here. The New York Knicks lost the points in the paint battle tonight, 50-48. I think a lot of that was the crunch time minutes, but they did win the second chance points. They were +4, 16-12 down here. And in the fast break points, Toronto outran us tonight. They were a +7 in the fast break point situation. Free throws, 80% for both teams. 3-point shooting, they were pretty comparable, 35.5% for the Raptors, 36.4% for the Knicks. Overall field goal shooting, 47.7% for the Knicks, 49.4% for the Raptors. You look at this and you wonder, how did the Knicks win this game? Well, we got a lot more shot attempts. That's how we did it. We got a lot more shot attempts. Knicks got 88. No, actually, it was the free throw line. We went to the free throw line 20 times. They only went 15 times, and we got 88 field goal attempts to the Raptors 77. So we had an additional 11 shot attempts, and that's from just hustle points right there. Did they show that? Is that second chance points? Yeah, I only have us as +4 in second chance points. But it really does come down to the free throw line, which it should. The Knicks work harder to make their buckets, and we don't get enough foul calls in general. Finally, it's starting to break our way. You can see here, Manuel Quickley was the high scorer for Toronto, 22 points for them. And OG and Cat had 27 points apiece. Rebounds, Cat 13. Poeltl had 10. Assists, 7 for Josh Hart. He was the high man. 5 for Quickley. He was the Raptors high man. Scotty Barnes with 4 blocks, and Karl-Anthony Towns with 2 blocks right there. All right, let's get back to this. Let's look through here. As you can see, Shamet did play 21 minutes. That was nice. And Precious Achiuwa played 15 minutes. I think once we get Deuce back, I'm hoping, let's put it this way. I'm hoping that when we get Deuce back, that he will soak up campaign's minutes and Shamet will be the other guard that Thibs turns to from the bench. At times, though, he has used all three of them, Deuce, Payne, and Shamet on the in that second unit. Hey, if that continues, that's great too. But we really need to get to a 9-man rotation right now. There's just an imperative. It's an absolute imperative at this moment. Tonight was one of the few times of recent that not one Knick played 40 minutes. How crazy is it that I've said that? I mean, to think that that's a positive thing. Yeah. It's that rare right now. Lately, it's either Mikal 40 minutes, Josh Hart 40 minutes, 39 and a half minutes for OG Anunoby. It's just the way it's been. Look at OG played 38 minutes tonight. Josh Hart played 38 minutes tonight. And this was a blowout by midway through the fourth quarter. The plus minus tells a beautiful story. Plus 26 for Bridges, plus 24 Anunoby, plus 25 Towns, plus 20 for Brunson, and a plus 19 for Josh Hart to go along with his 11 rebounds and 7 assists. He had 21 points as well. Josh Hart, he was just 3 assists shy of another triple-double for Josh Hart. Nice game for him, though he did start off a little slow. The Raptors, we may have seen all this already as well. Yes, we did. Let me see if there's anything here of note. Points conceded off turnovers. This was a big thing. The Knicks did commit 16 turnovers, as high for them, but they got the Raptors to commit 17, which is a pretty high number, and the Knicks were they were a +6 in points conceded off turnovers. Beautiful stat. That is a key stat for winning teams. I say it all the time. The Knicks dominated the offensive glass tonight, 15-8. They were +7 there. They were +10 overall in rebounds. And anything else of note? Nothing else really of note here. Okay. So, I think this is what's happened with Mitch. I think Leon and the team have decided that they're going to roll with Mitch in the playoffs. They're not going to trade him. They're not going to trade him at all. So all this conversation, can we package Mitch with this contract and that contract? No. And also, I don't think he's even going to play before the trade deadline. So they've already committed to that. Because also, he really was an impactful player for us in the playoffs, especially against the Sixers. Even though even though Embiid was dirty, stepped on him, grabbed his ankle, tried to twist him. I mean, that was horrific. I don't know why Embiid wasn't thrown out and fined for that kind of behavior. But we do know that Mitch, even though Mitch wasn't even at 100%, that what we saw was like Mitch at like 82% of Mitch, and he was still able to slow that big mofo down. So we're gonna need Mitch's minutes. So I'm fine. I'm fine with just waiting until Mitch is like at least 100% healthy. He's not 100. He won't be 100% conditioning wise until he gets out on the court and plays at least 10 to 15 games. But since you already know you're not going to be able to trade for anybody else who can be more of an impact player at this time, considering the salary cap restrictions that the Knicks are in. Who else are you going to get to bring in that's going to have more of an impact on the team on winning than Mitch Robinson right now? I don't see it. I don't see how we can do it right now, especially not in season. I did mention Isaiah Stewart. I don't think Isaiah Stewart is anywhere near on the level of what Mitch can do. Mitch can change a game all by himself. Stewart is not that kind of guy. Well, Stewart is an enforcer, and he reinforces, which is very much needed. And he's also out there to kind of like at least help spread your offense. He's there to give you defensive tenacity while your starters are off the floor. Keep you in the game while your starters are off the floor. That's what Isaiah Stewart can do. I don't see Sims doing that. I think Hawk Porty could do something like that, but Thibs hasn't shown that he wants to. One time he plays like 15 minutes, and then the next game he's gone, and then you don't see him for like a week and a half. So I don't know what's happening in that respect. But this is what I believe is happening with Mitch. Mitch is going to be a Knick for the remainder of this season, and we're going to have him for the playoffs. That is what is the strategy right now, is what it appears to me at this moment. And I have no issues with that. I'm cool and fine with that. Though, it would be nice to bring in some kind of insurance for Mikal and OG. That guy might be TJ Warren. So, but TJ Warren, he needs to be able to qualify as a veteran's minimum contract, I believe. So the Knicks don't have enough money at the moment. So maybe it's going to require moving, maybe campaign, maybe moving Matt Ryan or releasing him or something. But we need to bring up TJ Warren as soon as possible, in my opinion. Let him come up now. Let him start getting his feet wet. Let him start getting acclimated to the team, the big squad. Let him try and get his footing up here with the NBA because he's crushing down in Westchester. He's the perfect type of player to come in and give us big minutes. I mean, look, it's not a great comparison, but look at what Malik Beasley is doing right now. I mean, for the money that they gave him, he's delivering. TJ Warren can be that kind, and he's bigger. He's even bigger. So that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see TJ Warren brought up. I'd like the Knicks to make a trade for Isaiah Stewart. And I'd like the Knicks, well, the Knicks are, I believe they're going to just wait until Mitch is 100% healthy, which will probably be mid-February at this point. So he'll have at least 2 months. 2 months to get himself into like 100% conditioning. That is plenty of time. I think that's the strategy for the rest of the season. If that is the strategy for the rest of the season, and those trades or some semblance of that happens, we're going to be back there competing with the Cavs and the Celtics and OKC. There is only one other team that can compete with those three teams right now, and that is our New York Knicks. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button for me, turn on the notification bell so you are alerted when I go live or drop a video, and please drop your comments. I love the comments. They help me tremendously. All right, I'll see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go Knicks!